Hey, first graders. Okay, our plants have started growing a little bit better. I think they're still being a little slow because they're missing having the kids around, just like I am. But they have grown enough for us to be able to do lesson 4. So we're going to go ahead and do lesson 4 right now. So pull out your seed journal if you don't already have it ready. Make sure you have this with you. And first thing I want you to do is go back to the last lesson we did. Okay, and at the end of it, you were supposed to draw a picture of what the plant was looking like at that point. And I put up a photograph of the plant next to a measuring tape that showed you it was only 1 inch tall. And so here I have a little picture of the plant, and I have it just 1 inch tall. You can see it line up with the 1 inch. Okay, and notice the leaves on it are still rounded and kind of heart-shaped. Okay, those are still the seed leaves. And part of the reason I wanted to wait to do lesson 4 is because I wanted you to be able to see what the true leaves are going to look like. So we are actually going to get to see the true leaves today. But before we do that, look at that picture again you drew and think how it would have kept growing. What do you think it would have done as it continued to grow? Okay, you might remember that I told you I put one plant over in the window. I put one plant just sitting out in my living room, and I put one plant in a dark cupboard. So those plants have been in a different place than most of our plants and had different amounts of light shining on them. And I want you to think what the plant that didn't have any light, the one that was in the cupboard, is looking like now. Okay, and I want you to pause this video and I want you to draw here on the first page of lesson 4, page 11. I want you to draw a picture of what you think the plant looks like that wasn't getting any sunlight. Okay, so pause this and draw a picture really quick. Okay, okay, did you draw your picture? Look at that. What do you predict happened to the plant that wasn't getting any light? Well, let me show you the plant that wasn't getting any light. And it's going to be a little hard to see. I'll put up pictures too, though. Okay, so looking here, do you see this part sticking up right now? That is the stem of a plant that was looking just about like our other plants a few days ago. If you look closely at the tip of it, you can see there's almost like a little ball shape on it. That's what's left of the leaves. Okay, the leaves kind of shriveled up. And here next to it, there's some more stems that are that have fallen down. Okay, you can kind of see a little bit of a leaf right there too. That is another one. So these were green and they were standing up tall and they had leaves showing. And they kept stretching taller and taller. And as they were growing taller and taller, they started going from green to more of a white color. Okay, these really don't look green anymore. They look white. I can see if I can show you a little bit more. You can kind of see some more down here. Okay, so these plants that weren't getting any sunlight, they tried to grow. They tried to reach up to find light, but they didn't turn green. And eventually, that's the only one that's still standing up by itself. Well, there's one right here that's smaller. You can't really see it. Okay, there's one right there that's still standing up. But the others have fallen down. There's even one back here that really doesn't look too good. Okay, that one's still kind of standing up a little bit. But for the most part, they have fallen down, their leaves have shrunk away, and they are looking white instead of green. Let's see what happened to the one that had a little bit of sunlight. It was out in my living room. Okay, so this one was out in the living room. You can see it's still green. This one's kind of shriveled up a little bit, but that one and that one are still standing pretty tall. But their leaves are still really little, and they haven't grown much. Okay, so that one had a little bit of light. This one was in the window. You can see that these leaves are bigger than the one before. These are standing taller than the ones before, but they still just have the seed leaves. Now let's look at the one that was under the lights with all of our other plants. Look at all those leaves. Okay, this one has a lot more leaves. The leaves are a lot bigger. And do you see how there are two shapes of leaves? We still have some of these that are kind of heart-shaped. Those are the seed leaves. But we are getting true leaves as well. And I'll take a close-up picture of this so you can see these leaves that kind of have a little bit of a jagged side to them. Okay, they're not as smooth. They're kind of a teardrop shape rather than a heart. And they have rough edges instead of smooth, rounded edges. Okay, so you can see there's a big difference between how much light the plant is getting and how much it's able to grow. Okay, so what were you right? What did you think was going to happen? Look at the drawing of your prediction of what the plant was going to look like when it didn't get any sun. Okay, did you draw it still small? Did you draw it lighter in color, or was it still green? Why do you think there's so much difference? Now, if you listened carefully to the last video, you might remember a word I used. Okay, so write down, before we move on, I want you to write down in this bottom section why you think they look so different. Okay, and then I'm going to disappear here and we are going to talk about the real reason. Okay, so here is the next page. So this is the one we've been doing. And you put down your prediction and you put down what you thought it was going to look like. And now we're going to move on to this page. Okay, and here we have a picture of a leaf, and this doesn't look like our leaf, but it does look more like our leaves than we have seen before. And we are going to draw what happens to a plant when it is in the sunlight. Okay, there was a word that I used last time that was a fancy word for how plants make their own food. And that word is photosynthesis. Okay, so write down photosynthesis there underneath this leaf. Okay, now I want you to think for a moment of the most delicious, most yummiest food you ever eat at your house. Okay, that somebody in your family makes for you, and it just always makes you happy when they make it. Are you thinking of something delicious? Okay, I'm thinking of a certain type of cookie my family likes to make called toffee bars. Oh, those toffee bars, anytime they get cooked, everybody is happy. And those toffee bars will get eaten up so quickly. Okay, but if I want to make toffee bars, I have to prepare. I have to have the right ingredients. I can't just walk into my kitchen and only have rice and beans and fruits and vegetables and be able to make my toffee bars. Nope, I have to make sure I have the right ingredients to be able to make my delicious treats. Well, plants also have certain ingredients that they use to make their favorite treat and their favorite food to eat. Okay, and those ingredients are what's called carbon dioxide, and we write it down like this. Oh, that was supposed to be a 2. Let's try that again. Okay, carbon dioxide, water, and there's a certain symbol for water, okay, and light. So I am going to draw next to these, next to the CO2, I'm going to draw little bits of air because that's a type of air, carbon dioxide. It's actually the air we breathe out. Okay, and then next to H2O, I'm going to put water, droplets, and then light. I'll put a little sun. Okay, and that word photo actually means light. So I take these 3 ingredients, carbon dioxide, water, and light, and they go into the plant. And when they go into the plant, the plant is able to make 2 different things. It is able to make a sugar, and I'm going to make it green and keep it here in the plant. Okay, because it keeps that sugar with it. And then it also lets out oxygen, which is the air we breathe in. Okay, so in goes carbon dioxide, in goes water, in goes light, and it's able to create a sugar that it uses to feed itself and oxygen that we are able to breathe. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and get that image drawn on your paper. And that is why, one of the reasons why we love to have plants around us is because they give us fresh air to breathe. We're in a symbiotic relationship with plants. We can help them by giving them the air they need, and then they can help us by giving the air that we need. Okay? Okay, so I hope you got that drawing on. If you need to pause it to finish, please do. And finally, we are going to draw another picture of what our plant is looking like. So I will put up some more pictures of what our plant looks like right now so that you can draw it on page 13 and be able to track what our plants are doing. Okay, I'll be back in just a couple of days and we'll do lesson 5. I hope you're enjoying your time as a botanist. Bye.